just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
You're tuned into Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. We are giving a bowl preview, sharing two of our favorite games that we're excited to watch during bowl season in the chaotic mess that is the transfer portal window, that is random games played on weekdays at very random times, coaches shuffling around. Nonetheless, there's still going to be some really fun football going on. And if you're off work, you're sitting on your ass, you're going to be doing a lot of the same things that we'll be doing during this period of time. Sean, how are you doing today?
Are we live or not live? You said we were going live.
I meant we were taping. We're not actually live. We're taping.
It was just a question. I am irritated with you, but
why?
Well, I don't know. I'm irritated today. It just
you're a little snippy today.
A little snippy during the day, strictly because RSS feeds are just sometimes they load in 5 minutes, sometimes they load in 35. So if I want to get my day proceeded and I have to wait on an RSS link to take effect, it doesn't really work that way.
Imagine having to deal with that, but with hundreds of shows and people emailing you constantly like, hey, why didn't my thing post even though I just published it a minute ago? That I do that every single day, man. All right. Nothing new.
All right, go ahead, Mr. One-Upper. Go ahead.
No, because you're getting all snippy with me earlier. You were getting all snippy with me earlier, and you were trying to like.
You know what? I will get snippy with you.
You were trying to shit on me the whole day for no reason.
Here's something for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How about you interact with your own hosts on Twitter? Don't interact with mine.
Sean, you produce a show with a host that has all the current scoops on everything. Like, also,
glom on.
You know what? I'm not going to make the comment that I'm not going to make the comment that I could make, and I'm not going to do it.
Go ahead.
No. I'm not going to make the comment. It's the stupidest thing that you could be picky about, and I'm not going to make the comment.
You talk to your own people on Twitter. I'll talk to mine.
Okay. All right.
You don't see
I'm not trying to talk. I'm not trying to talk to him.
I know what you're doing.
He had a fucking headline.
It was going everywhere.
It was the one. It just happened to be the one that I chose to use. I don't give a shit that Ross Dellinger is the one who tweeted it.
I do.
Hey, how about you actually interact with them, and then maybe you get some followers?
I do interact with them.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't get you any followers apparently.
It's gotten me plenty.
Nah,
I think I've jumped up a good amount actually.
Okay.
Jerk off.
You
mind your own.
No. You got weird hill to die on. A weird hill to die on.
Ryan Roberts send each other complaints and gifs about you and videos about you doesn't mean that you need to be going into Pat 40's DMs.
I have never reached out to them, dumbass. That's not how that works.
I understand. I just don't like seeing you.
Just because I am in the business of reacting to information. Because I'm in the business of reacting to information, and
that's
one
your
of the
business.
hosts of the. Yes, that we're hosts. We're college football hosts, dumbass. That's how this works. When a reporter posts something that is relevant, that I know that my followers are going to interact with, which they did, I am going to quote tweet and respond to it. How else do you want me to proceed, dumbass?
Look, I'm just saying. You let me know next time you want to be interactive with
How about you tell Ross to just not tweet? Then I won't quote tweet him. How about that? How about you tell him to not do his job?
He's very successful.
And you're not,
job.
So shut up.
That's his job. I just don't like seeing you trying to glom on with my guys.
Yeah, okay. We can talk when you have more followers than me. How
about
that?
You're a poacher.
You can no. We can talk when you have more followers than me. We can talk about that when that happens. Yeah, we will gladly do that.
Let's see who gave you these likes. Dan, my man, Kyle Hobo HSTL. And then definitely Brendan. 3 of the dudes that are giving likes to whatever tweet that I send out also. So if we're talking about followers and interactions, I don't know who Sil is. Some of these you got the other 2 people. Those are probably your own followers. But those 3, you can't be like, oh, my widespread reach. Nobody from South Dakota State talks to you, likes your stuff on Twitter, Sean.
Yeah, you were too cool to show up on the Splitting Hairs podcast.
I was working.
Allegedly.
You want to do the allegedly?
No, I don't want to do the allegedly. Do the goddamn read.
For 4 or 5 hours last night.
You're coming out with weird energy today, man.
No, it's not a weird energy. I just don't like you poaching my guys.
There's no poaching going on.
You're a
Okay,
poser.
then you can't interact with the 500 hosts on the network. You can't quote tweet Pac-Man. You can't quote tweet. You
I
can't
don't.
ask me to book Solomon Wilcots on your
I
show
did
anymore.
that one
You
time,
no
and
no no no
Solomon
no no no.
gave a great
You did that.
interview.
You did that
I
multiple
did it.
times.
I did it twice. He only came on one time because schedules changed, and that was fine. He gave a great interview though, and you know that's an
You can't quote
external
tweet
circumstance.
Carl Banks. You can't quote tweet Bob Papa. You can't quote tweet Lisa McCaffrey. You can't quote tweet Ryan Roberts. You can't quote tweet.
I've done shows with Ryan Roberts. That's fair game.
No,
No, that's
because he's
fair
my
game
host.
with
I
me
am
and
his
Ryan Roberts.
I
That
produce
is
and
true.
host
We
the
share
show
a
with him. That's
channel.
how no, but I am
You
still the
wouldn't believe
producer of
how
this
much
channel.
me and Ryan Roberts talk to each other in DM.
I know how much you guys talk to each other. He tells me how much you guys talk to each other.
Damn right, I'm putting him on deletes.
I'm telling you right now, if you're going to come at me with this energy, I am going to every single time you have any interaction,
Go through the tweets.
any interaction.
Go through mine.
I
Go
will
through mine.
I will track all of your
Check
tweets.
'em. Check them.
You can't. You're not even allowed to interact
Check
with the Believe
'em.
account. If you interact with the Believe account, once, we're gonna have problems.
Oh my god, I can't react to Cam Rogers' awful food takes. Cam Rogers, I'm Mr. Hot Take. I'm putting a salad in number 3 for my Thanksgiving wish list. Go, you stink.
Those are terrible.
I'm on to him.
Those-
I'm on to him. I'm gonna be like, I've never had stuffing before. Cam Rogers, hot take.
You can't react to Lamar Odom. You can't.
What's
react
Rory
to
doing this week?
Rudy Gay. You can't react to. I'm trying to think. who else I can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris Johnson,
Okay.
Lendell White, Blake
Don't keep
Ruffino.
Lendell
You
from
can't
me.
interact with Blake Ruffino anymore.
Blake Ruffino interacts with me because I move the needle. Jerk off.
No, you don't. Okay, do the read. Speaking of moving the needle.
Oh, you are not going to try to direct me here just because I brought up a valid point and then you don't want to hear it anymore.
It wasn't a valid point, and then on
It
top
is.
of that, I just bodied you. There's no.
You did not body me because
I have way more
I have
dudes in
not
my back pocket that I can say
I
you
would
can't interact
love
with.
to do, and this is how low we are. I would love to do a verified followers between me and you. I'd love to.
What do you mean a verified follower?
If you want to talk about the clout and such, I'd love to see who had more.
First of all, you don't have more than me. Second of all,
That
you
I
were
do.
trying to complain about my ratio earlier. My ratio is what it is because most of the people who follow me are draft prospects.
Who brought up
recruits,
ratios?
Coaches, you did.
I did not
when
tonight.
you texted me. You
I was
texted
off
me.
this afternoon.
You
I
texted
could
me.
have really hurt your feelings this afternoon. A picture popped up in my memories from a house party sophomore year with a buzz cut Joe, and I
was
not
fat
send it to you.
and dumpy and weird, man. I don't know. Like, there's nothing new, man. There's nothing new there.
I just want you to know I held off on hurting
I
your
have
feelings.
more meaningful followers. I don't know what
You think so?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Do the read.
God,
You're a terrible
you
co-host.
just
I hate
went on
hosting the show with
You've
you.
been on a weird jag there, man. I don't get you.
I was in a good mood today. You were just like taking shots at me when you just randomly texting me and being a dickhead for no reason. I wanted to talk about the bowl games. You wasted 8 minutes of my time.
This is the fun I'm having today. Can you let me have fun?
Yes.
What am I? I'm not going to this bar on Thursdays has gotten progressively worse. It's gotten worse. It's the bar when I told you about the tech people, Joe. And I swear to God, I'm getting to the read. But when the tech people flooded it, it was bad. And then since then, it's gotten worse. And I've gotten dragged out to this bar every Thursday since then. I'm not going tonight. I'm not. This is my fun, talking to you. That awful green shirt. Look like a lima bean.
It's not a great
They
shirt.
have better colorways.
Eh.
They have better colorways. And you know that. I hope you see that also. I want better for you. Whatever. Betting. Let's get to this. Line tonight for Thursday Night Football. San Francisco favored by 3.5. Brock Purdy's hurt somehow. I don't know. This San Francisco team is cursed. I know he's still projected to play, but he's got what was it? It was like ribs. It was all of this body pain stuff with Brock Purdy. Coming off a really good start. They're playing the Seahawks. They're at Seattle. Over under set at 43. Now I love unders for Thursday Night Football.
By the way, this is going to get
all been stinkers.
This is going to get posted after the game, so let's not do the read on Thursday Night Football.
Well, I just wanted to have a discussion with you because this is how friends have discussions before bets.
Okay.
What do you like tonight?
Probably Seattle.
I like Seattle also. 3.5. 3.5. Yeah, I like Seattle also. Whatever. If you want to yell at your friends and bully them into making picks about the game that they don't particularly care that much about, go and do it at betonline.ag. It is always the fastest and easiest way to bet all of your favorite sports and events. One more game, Joe. One more game, and then the World Cup is done for. So if you're going to make one bet between Argentina and France, toss up, coin flip, go ahead, take your chance. Head to betonline.ag, receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Let's see if we can be calm for the remainder of the show.
Unlikely.
So we're going to talk about two bowl games that we're both equally excited to watch because, first of all, we were debating doing the full bowl game preview, and the conclusion I came down to is there's so much uncertainty on what guys are in the portal. There's so many things that are swapped in and out with coaches, and I just think for some of these lower level games, it's hard to really preview them. We're going to preview the New Year's Six games, the big bowl games, and we're going to talk about all those next week. But today, just for the fun of it, the goofy dipshit ones, because there's so many of them these days that guys are just there to get their bag with their PS5 in it and then just be pissed off that they're in Detroit or in Boston when they should be with their families. Bowl season is one of the weirdest things ever. And I've talked to so many guys that have played and they've just been like, yeah, it's unless you go to the Bahamas, it's really not that worth it. You're just stuck in a hotel for a week and you're kind of going crazy. And you're also on Tinder and hoping things work out. But it's not fun for
Bahamas,
players.
Myrtle, Hawaii, maybe Vegas. Everywhere else, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's figure it out. Let me get home and see the people I haven't seen for 5 months. But
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to take it for granted. I refuse because let's not forget this last summer was the longest off season for football that I've ever felt in my life. Are we copacetic on that? It felt like it was for NFL and college that after draft, May, June, July, August felt like the
Yeah.
longest 3 months I've ever had to go through just to get football back. So I'm not taking any bowl games for granted.
I think that now that we're both fully removed from playing, it feels a lot longer because in our summers,
Yeah.
we a lot of times we
Yeah.
would have those periods where like, you're a couple weeks home and then
That's
you're
a great
back for
point.
some more workouts and
Great
then you're
point.
home for a week and then you're at training camp. It feels like you're just always around football. But
Yeah,
to
it's
your
film,
point,
it's football training, it's all
yeah.
the different things. Yeah. No
Well,
kidding. All right. Yeah, that you've cracked it for me.
I want to just quickly, before we get to the bowl games, on a more somber note, just want to remember Mike Leach, Mississippi State head coach, who passed away this week. I know everybody's sharing all their stories, all their great memories. The one takeaway that I got from everyone talking about on Twitter and listening to some shows that were talking about him, it just seems like one of those guys that even though you don't personally know him, you feel like you do kind of know him really, really well, be from all the stories, from all the clips from press conferences, all the funny things that he said and done, and the impact that he's had on the game of football. Like he is the reason why we have modern offenses and air raid schemes across college football and across the NFL. A lot of the practice schemes, game schemes, everything that we see in today's modern game, a lot of it comes from what Mike Leach has done as an offensive mind. So it's terrible that we lost him. And
Huge
again,
bummer.
just huge bummer, and just wish him the best for his family. And he will always be remembered as an important part of history of college football.
Yeah, I remember when I was at SiriusXM, I was cutting his introductory press conference at Mississippi State, and I said, "Well, this is a trip. This is because I knew when he was coaching at Washington State. I'm like, okay, all right, this is an odd team, but they're effective. And then Mississippi State, and I'm cutting it. I'm like, well, I've never cut a press conference like this in my life, and it was just interesting. And he's one of those guys. I think everyone has him, or one of those people. I had it, and then I lost before. Fez Watley was one of the guys I always wanted to meet, and then Mike Leach, through the outpour that's come out, he is one of those dudes where it's like, wow, I really wish I could have spent 5 minutes with him. Whereas everyone says you don't just spend 5 minutes with Mike Leach, you end up thinking you're going to spend 5 minutes, and you spend 90 minutes with him just talking about whatever. So, regardless, one of those dudes I really wished I could have gotten to meet and interact with. It
Mhm.
just you don't get to meet. Very, very interesting people often. The interesting people that you find interesting typically aren't that much. And I could say me and Joe, super squares outside of, however, whatever we try to put on for the show, doing the show, all that. Outside of it, Joe is playing MLB, the show, and looking at his TV, and I'm playing Call of Duty, looking at my TV, waiting for the next day. Mike Leach is not one of those guys. He is a super interesting dude from everything that people have been saying about him. So it's a bummer that he could not continue to be that guy with us. So it's a huge shame. And then obviously condolences to the family and all the close friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, condolences in a football lost a really important figure this week. But transitioning back to talking about the bowl games, Sean, getting into it. What's the first game that you're looking forward to? What's the first one that you're watching?
Well, chronologically, or would you have? I'll go chronologically here. This is going to be a fantastic day for drinking and watching football. Friday, December the 23rd, a day before Christmas Eve. It's a Friday. You have the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl between Louisiana and Houston at 3 p.m. on ESPN. After that, you have the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Wake Forest versus Missouri, at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN. If that doesn't say, hey, let's start pre-gaming and then we'll go to the bars and watch this, or hanging out with family, having some drinks and messing around, and then having that football game on in the background, watching that, because what else are you going to watch? The Masked Singer, some bullshit. No, don't do that. There's 2 football games on. Neither of them are going to be really good. But it's a Friday 2 days before Christmas. And unless you have somebody like a girlfriend in your life and you're cuddled up watching the original Rudolph or some other Christmas movie.
Put a bullet in my head before I do that. I will sit here and I know this is my worst bit. This is my worst bit. I hate Christmas movies. Fuck. They're terrible. I'm telling you right now.
If I was again, I'm going to throw up.
If I was forced to sit down and watch something like that, I would, again, I'm not going to repeat what I said, but I can't. Christmas movies stink. They're the most predictable pieces of shit out there. Besides the point, I'd much rather be doing what you're talking about, laying on the couch with a couple of beers in hand, either with your family members,
there you go.
Shut up, or with your buddies before you go out.
That's a good impression of actually being drunk while watching the game. Let's get some more of the family remembers over here. All right, there's 2, and I'm not. This is a hack bit. I'll watch the OG Rudolph and I'll watch the Peanuts. Other than that, there's no Christmas movies I'm watching.
No.
Okay.
Wait, what are the 2 games? Did you say what they were?
I did. Thanks for listening.
I'm sorry. I'm getting the.
You talk about you hating me as a co-host. At least I listen to you. At least I listen to you and then heckle. Not pretend to listen and then heckle and pick.
We should call this show the 2 producers get flustered while they try to talk about something but get texted by their bosses.
You need to flip your phone over when we're recording.
I can't. It pops up on my screen, and dude, if you
know what you should do? You should get an old enough laptop where it doesn't pop up on your screen because it can't handle it.
If you waited 20 minutes as a producer to wait to text back your boss, would that be a good idea or a bad idea?
Well, my bosses are very cool. Regardless,
my bosses are too. They wouldn't get mad at me, but I like to be diligent.
I understand. It is what it is. I try not to let it take me out of the show completely, personally.
You know that I don't have the attention.
I know you don't. I know. I'm not even busting you for that. All right, the games are Louisiana versus Houston at 3.
Yeah,
which I'll stop really paying attention by the end of by the 4th drive. I'll say,
game.
But it'll be on. It'll be good ambiance. Maybe. And Dan said this. Great happy hour game. Go to a bar, some fried pickles. Couple disgusting IPAs, but somehow you're in the mood for them, and then you're having a good time with some pals, and then go home and then just Wake Forest, Missouri it up. Just sit there and watch Sam Hartman try to sling it all over the field
if he plays. Honestly, for that first game, you know what I would do to get warmed up for if it's a Friday to go out.
Yeah.
Every time somebody punts in that the Louisiana-Houston game, which might not be that often, might be a lot for Louisiana, not that much for Houston, you have to chug your beer. I think that would make a really fun drinking game for everybody that is just like, why am I watching this football game?
Sure.
I don't even know if
Well,
Clay Toon is playing in this game.
he is. What you shouldn't do that for is the Iowa-Kentucky game on New Year's Eve, because you will not make it out to your party.
No. Oh my
Uh,
God, we're gonna talk about that later. But that Iowa Kentucky game, that is a all-time sickos game. And I know that it's like everyone's been tweeting about it. There's no Will Levis. I don't know if Spencer Petras is playing. There's a bunch of guys
I
missing
say
for
play
both
them. Send the folks home on a high note.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine if we went for 350 and 4 tuds? That'd be awesome.
But I don't think Will Levis has the capacity for that against that defense, brother. I think that's like
I'm saying Petras.
Oh, Petras. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Could you imagine if he did that? That would be
Hey, go ahead.
hilarious.
Bring in your Michigan quarterback. Here's the bird. I'm going to Oregon.
For pure going, oh my God, Spencer Petras at Oregon. Oh my God.
I was waiting for it to register. I didn't. I think you dismissed it because it was such an impossibility. And then
Good thing that Kenny Dillingham's gone, man. He might have a stroke trying to call plays that would work for Spencer Petras. My Lord.
Who's this Petras kid on the TV? Granddad,
it gives
no,
me a
it's
stroke
Petras.
just trying to say Spencer Petras. The first game that I'm excited for is the Fenway Bowl, which is going to be played on December 17th at 11 a.m., which is this Saturday, Cincinnati versus Louisville. The reason for being excited about this one, Scott Satterfield was kind of pushed out into leaving Louisville, and now he's taking the Cincinnati job, which I argued was a better job than the Louisville one. Jeff Brom ends up taking over the Louisville job, which that's a huge get for them. They're going to be a really good program going forward now that they don't have Satterfield. So you have the goofiness of former coach playing his at a new program, not coaching, but it's the Scott Satterfield Bowl. But the stupider part is it's in the worst venue, in my opinion, for sporting events, because the Fenway's a dump, and it's not designed to fit a football stadium, and it should never fit a football stadium. The orientation of the field is horrible, and then on top of that, you got both of these teams' sidelines on top of each other. So say in the event that these Cincinnati or these Louisville guys are pissed off at Satterfield for whatever reason, like say they're just not feeling it, and this game gets a little bit chippy, there's no way to separate those two teams. There's absolutely no way. And honestly, Sean, watching this whole game, I'm rooting for a fight. I think that would make this game really entertaining because there is no separating those two teams.
You're rooting for a fight because you never had to fight. If stuff really started going down, the specialists were not in the mix.
That has nothing to do with it.
So that's where I think inherently I'm not rooting for a fight because I don't want to get ear-holed. I don't want to get sideswiped and punched for just being there trying to separate.
I forget that part. I'm saying think of how stupid it would be if this poor planning.
Stupid. I want one of the teams in the stands or the dugout. That's where I want the other team.
Trying to fit 70 guys into a dugout.
Sure. Figure it out. Or we do 7-on-7 rules. Put them behind the end zone.
Sean, what's the second game you're excited for?
Second game. Let's see. What did I write down here? Oh, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Friday, December 30th, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Notre Dame, South Carolina. Gamecocks are hot, man. Gamecocks are hot. I like the national stage for Notre Dame. I do, because the last time I saw them on the national stage, well, we know what happened. God effing damn it!
What?
My light is not staying on because the dongle. It doesn't matter. I'm being distracted by my own technical incapabilities of buying a power surger or whatever the fuck it's called. Lightning strip.
Power strip.
Power strip.
There we go.
Regardless, I'm
Sean,
excited for
yeah,
this game. I am. The
yes.
Gamecocks are fun, and they have very, very fun players, and they seem to be intent on playing for Shane Beamer. Which, if you can get some dudes doing that, good for you, because that's not what a lot of 22-year-old guys want to do. They are focused on other things. But if you can buy into your mentality as a coach, and that's all good. And then I see Joe on Twitter backtracking all of his Notre Dame takes with his other fun co-hosts with Sims and Roberts, talking about they love the direction of Notre Dame now. Joe necessarily wasn't doing that, but I'm pointing it out. I'm excited to see this game. Just because I'm excited to see this game. It doesn't mean I'm putting out Notre Dame hate. I'm not putting that out in the air, am I?
You are a little bit.
How?
You're putting a little hate out in the air. Look, I obviously will be watching Cox versus Catholics. This game, yeah, you got a lot of juice behind South Carolina. Notre Dame's cooled off after getting their teeth knocked in by USC, but this is still an important game. The confusing part and what's going to be really goofy is if Tyler Buckner's not available because Drew Pine entered the portal and he's not playing in this game. So if Buckner is not healthy for this game, which there's a possibility of it, Stephen Jelly, a true freshman, is going to start. So this
Awesome.
game could get very sloppy. Things are going to get really sloppy for the Cox. So we'll see what pans out. I'm going to be watching this game. I was actually debating trying to go to the game. I don't know if I will or not. We will see. Does Joe travel to see the Cox play? I probably won't. The second game,
hope you're sidelined for that game.
I won't be sidelined. The second game I'm excited to watch. This one's, I think, out of all of them, that's actually entertaining. The Holiday Bowl on the 28th, 8 p.m. on Fox, which is Wednesday. Oregon versus UNC. Drake May decided to return. I don't know if Bo Nix is playing this game because he hasn't declared for the draft yet, which he probably should. It does help him to play this game and get one more game in. But the reason why this is exciting, has the potential to be a total shootout. Like both these teams kind of struggle a little bit on defense. Both these teams, when they're in full stride and their offenses are clicking and both quarterbacks are in rhythm, they put up a lot of points. This one could be really, really fun. It could, I think, is underrated enough to be like that Purdue-Tennessee game that we got last year, that there were 1 million points scored in that game. This is kind of like a sneaky good game if it lives up to the potential.
Yeah, it's just tough to see it live up to the potential right now. For me, personally, just because it seems like a golf club game or a golf bag game where guys might have had their golf bags outside their lockers ready for the season to be over. And then, I have high hopes, but I don't want to set them that high because we're going to have a depressing stretch, I'd say, before that game. And if I need Oregon UNC to pull me out of it, listen to this Tuesday here. Tuesday after Christmas, you're back at work. Listen to this, Joe. Georgia Southern versus Buffalo, Memphis, Utah State, Coastal Carolina, East Carolina, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. Am I really going to root for Oregon UNC to pull me out of the gutter after that Tuesday?
I'm still going to watch those games.
I will too. But we know how those games are going to go.
I think that there's value in those games, especially when they're played, because it's like this slop fest every single week, every single day. Dude, I think that is the best stretch. The lead up to Christmas, and then the few days after Christmas, where it's just bad bowl game after bad bowl game after bad bowl game, and then you get just the stupidest stuff that
I'll take the lead up. The lead up, the post Christmas, can't do it. Can't do the post Christmas. I mean, we'll be here recapping, and I will watch. But I will have to pull myself up by the bootstraps to be entertained, if that makes any sense.
And we'll be back to discuss those games, any of the fun highlights that happen from it. We'll also be previewing the big games coming up. Folks, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio. We'll be back. Enjoy the games, folks.